love the fact that they're given an opportunity for maybe see the, you know, up and coming, whether it be women, non-binary, to be able to, you know, commentate, because I love it. I mean, hey, I'm here for a reason. You're here for a reason, Jake. I'm here, honestly, because I can't play. I'm just not good enough, all right? So, hey, love that they're giving opportunities out there for women non-binaries, and honestly, that is a beautiful thing, so shout out to Kunoichi. Let's get it going, all right? Off the rip, the M-Bar is going to be picked up. Eris is going to have that in her hands, and hopefully she's going to put it to good use. Off the rip, though, it looks like Kurosu is going to be getting those early points, but not too far out is going to be Nostalgia looking to go for the break, and, well, there it is officially.
I already see they're trying to take that early advantage away from them. They have the positioning on towards the hill. They don't have the lead just yet, but as I finish the sentence, they will have it on over towards their hands. You can already see Nostalgia. They're beginning to spread out. I think control, or at least being aware of that right side of the map, is going to be crucial for both of these teams, especially in the next few seconds, to where you decide to continue to attack and aggress forward, or to backtrack and set up for next.
All right, let's see how this is going to unfold now. We're now playing for scrap time, 25 seconds. You really got to start locking in the next spawn, and player 6, Eris, is looking to do just that. Oh, but she's going for the push. She wants to help her teammates, at least throws out a nade, and it's going to take down Dasha. And the kill feed really lighting up at this point red, which obviously is going to benefit that of Nostalgia. Looking incredible, but hey, look who spawns up on the top, right? For the next hill, it's going to be all Kurosu. This is where you can find yourself getting into trouble when you make those last-ditch pushes. You can find yourself, you know, trying to break a defensive setup, and if it doesn't go your way, you could take a bit of a deficit. Sky Blue, great job from her. That's 2 to lock in spawns.
Be big eliminations there. Not only to lock in spawns, but for this next hill rotation as well. But it's going to be greedy from Nostalgia. They might be trying to set up for this M-Bar that could be coming up as well, but depending on how much time is going to be left on it, they can have a try to push attempt unsuccessful. That's when they would try to backtrack, try to get the M-Bar, even if they are successful, depending on how much time and how it does go down. But Vix is going to be the first one dropped. Nobody taken out just yet, but that's going to be Dasha who gets that first blood on the exchange. Nanfius goes down. Vix is finally taken out. Greedy's getting revived back up, but it doesn't look like they're making any headway. It doesn't make it they're having any sort of success here onto that push. They're going to be denied entry, but that spawn point towards them, somehow it switched hands. It's Nostalgia, and they're not going to have to wait long before they return to this scene of the crime.
They are going to return, at least they have to. 43 seconds is something you simply can't ignore. Fresh M-Bar going to the way of Dasha, so she's going to have that for good use, hopefully. Sky Blue's also going to pick up the nades. Dasha forced to retreat. 30 seconds now to fight for. And I like the pressure from Nanfius, right? You got to make that push, try to get the M-Bar out of the way. She's actually doubling back, and Vix is even going to challenge mid, taking down Melody. So good elimination on her part. The nades were also thrown, but one thing is for certain, I gotta say, I'm impressed with Nostalgia. That was a solid hold in their part. They were facing an M-Bar, they were facing nades, they were even facing right an opportunity where Sunset was holding down the spawns, but everything Kurosu did just unfortunately crumbled. And Nostalgia, they ate it up.
Like I said, this is the opportunity for Nostalgia to keep picking them while they're down. After a 1-0 map lead to start off our last series, they crumbled to Carnage Gaming on both the execution and the escalation to finish off that series. So obviously things are not going right for them to start the day, and they're continuously having these blunders. Sunset goes in, tries to make something happen, but heavily these numbers are on their side, and you can kind of see it. They're just using their Lancer fire. They're not letting these players get any inches here, and after those first couple hills, they have a 30-point lead, and they're looking to make it even larger as long as they can go ahead and keep the numbers intact. And they found their push opportunity. They saw Melody by herself with the low portions of the map, and they went ahead and attacked to keep the numbers advantage.
79 now, 80 to 38. This break needs to happen, and quickly, before the scoreline starts to really get carried away in favor of Nostalgia. Dasha, we've seen her play one heck of a game right against Carnage Gaming. We need to see it start to rear its head forward here. Sky Blue also the tip of the spear typically when it comes to the slaying power. Sunset moving forward, and here we go. The attempt to go for the break is in. That's going to put a ton of pressure on Nanfius, but no worry. She holds her ground. Vix as well. Dasha last alive now in a 1v3. She's gone, and that is a solid hold from Nostalgia. And Kurosu once again starting to take a bigger deficit. I know they're not happy with that, and I'm gotta say I'm really surprised they're challenging for these last 20 seconds.
Yeah, I'm surprised as well, but I think somebody made the call on their team. You can see in their mini-map, 2 players going towards the middle, Sunset going towards the top. Melody, that's going to be a big battle one as Dasha's trying to back her up. They're trying to go back-to-back. Sunset gets taken out. It was Vix hiding towards the top. As soon as she picked up that M-Bar, she got sent to the Shadow Realm, and this is where Sunset, good with the M-Bar, though. Looked like she did get taken out. Maybe I was a little bit wrong. Maybe it was Dasha. That's why Dasha did get taken out with the frag grenades in hands. Throwing those on out. Couple of spots. Gets the marker for the splash damage, but turns. Gets taken out. Revive's going to be there, but Sunset's only able to get one to trade. To come on her side, as you see Sky Blue gets one as well, as they're continuously being pushed back. That's what the difference between these two teams. Team Kurosu has little individual moments that are not shining so bright, but it's nostalgia. You see the Lancer play, you see the team play, and they're shining brighter than the North Star.
It's brighter than a North Star. That is a compliment to say the least, Jacob. Sunset, though, is just as fine, or at least happy with her brightness. Unfortunately, she's going to end up falling there, leaving Melody try and go big against Nanfius. 50 seconds to fight for here, so Melody, this is a big win if she can take it with Dasha, and she does, so good job on their part. That's also gets rid of the M-bar, also the nades are out of the way, so now it's just straight up gun skill and teamwork, and Melody isn't backing down until Vix rolled up and took her out. Sky Blue trying to hold her ground if she can. Nice shot through the smoke. Dasha's looking for blood. Eris was marked, and a nade will take down two teammates and also Dasha. But either way, for Kurosu, they're still in the hill. But I'm blown away by the refresh ability from Nostalgia. It seems like every time Kurosu gets them out of the hill, another member is to go to fight back.
Yeah, I think they're just stuck in that mindset of the other matchup between Carnage. We saw how nitty-gritty that one got with the shotgun play, how chaotic it got, but Nostalgia is not giving those same shotgun fights. They're sitting back, they're crossing, they're using their teamwork, and they're just eating up Team Kurosu fight after fight, even bleeding this next hill dry. Vic's on one side of the map, and they got the angles are there, just the numbers are not on their side, but they're going to survive again. That cross that I keep talking about. Somebody from Team Kurosu, pull out a Lancer, please, just spawn with it.
Honestly, team fire on Regency is incredibly impactful and hugely important. Honestly, let's not kid ourselves on all maps, but you're right. At this point, Nostalgia, absolutely unpunished. By the time they close the gap, they're full health, they're not within chunkable range, and Nostalgia, they take that to the bank. Not looking good for Team Kurosu, and I like what you said, man. When it comes down to that Carnage Gaming matchup, maybe Kurosu, they put too much weight into that, and it's affecting them. From the flank, though, is Sunset. She'll take down Greedy, but no, the mismantle will be her undoing. She's gone, and a great shot from Nanfius will put Dasha to the respawn screen. Melody, she's chomping at the bit to push forward. She's going to do it hopefully with Sky Blue, but you're pushing into not only at least an M-bar with Nanfius, but also Vix, who's been on an absolute terror, and another great shot from Nanfius. That's what I like to see with the power weapons. Maximize it to full effect.
I'm not sure, depending on how some of those off-stream matches, if Carnage loses to a Garthus Jade and Team Kurosu figure out his way to be victorious, we could see, in terms of record, I don't know how all these tiebreakers kind of break down, but we could see a possible tiebreaker scenario, so it's not over just yet, and hopefully Team Kurosu can figure that out sooner rather than later, because right now it just seems like they're getting desperate. It seems like that first match has affected them too much, and they're just throwing away their lives. Sky Blue took a bunch of that damage from the frag grenade, trying to stay alive towards the end. He gets angled out. Another player is going to fall. That's Sunset. I want to see Sunset turn around, take this 3v2, but instead she's just trying to buy the team time. So far, it is going to be successful. Now she has to try to stay alive, allow the team to help her. 2v1 opportunity is going to be there. Sunset only going down for now. Melody trying to be the hero, but she is going to fall because of it. That's going to be two players lost, and that was a big moment to lose them, because look at that spawn towards the bottom right. No one is there just yet. That means Nostalgia will get that respawn if anybody gets taken out.
Oh, this is heartbreaking. Kurosu had such a good, or did such a good job at least, getting themselves on the new hill. And unfortunately, that play from Melody, which, by the way, wasn't a bad play per se, right? If she gets a trade there, all good. There's only one more player you have to work for, worry about. You have to get control of that back spawn, because you're just constantly going to be dealing with refreshes while you're spawning across the map. It was a justified push, but she needed help. That's the big thing. She needed help, but she didn't have it. But here we are. Kurosu looking to get the break. They're hungry for the 30 seconds. Aris, though, isn't going to back down. Great shot. She hits Sky Blue with an absolute apartment complex. Sky Blue will fall, and the rich get richer.
On point does go over to Team Kurosu, so it's not over just yet. And this is where you almost have to at least send one person over to contest this time. Even though it is scrap time, you're not going to go ahead and come back with it. You have to stop them from getting even closer to where they can just step one little pink toe in and win this match, as the score continues to rack up for Team Nostalgia. Nanfius loses a big battle to Sunset, but it's honestly time to rotate over, and they just need to be able to kind of leave this player and Vix there. That is a couple of seconds that she is going to be able to gain, but now you have a 4v3 advantage on the other side of the map. You just have to be able to spot these players out and capitalize sooner than later, but Sunset taking too long. Cross is going to be there. Aris with the flank. That's going to be a woman advantage for Nostalgia and a possibility to end the game here.
Definitely so. There's plenty of time to be at least come to a conclusion for this map number 1, and even so, Kurosu, I mean, just they've got such a large mountain to climb at this point. Sky Blue, who was the dominant Slayer in that first matchup against Carnage Gaming on Ritual, I think she dropped either 25 total eliminations, absolutely leading her team, leading the charge. This time around, not the best of games, 10 kills, 14 deaths, but it's not just on her back, is it? No, it's because the rest of the team isn't pulling their weight, and when it comes down to Nostalgia, the teamwork is making the dream work. Luckily though, Kurosu, they won a little bit more, right? They got some gas left in the tank. They'll break the hill, but still enough time remaining. If Nostalgia gets to break here, the map can still end.
And the thing for Nostalgia, though, they have such a massive lead right now. They cannot get a single elimination for the next 2 hills and this one, and they'll still be in a good spot to kind of end the game. So they just have to make sure not to get too antsy, not to get too down on themselves. In many of these battles, they might be losing, but that's going to be a big one going their way as Sky Blue gets taken out back to back as Melody falls. Sunset is doing what they can to keep this one contested. So even though it is staying contested, another big one for Sunset, forcing a team kill to come out. But this game could end here. Not on this next hill, but this next rotation, which Nostalgia already has.
Nostalgia's got it. I like the fact that they're fighting for the scrap time, keeping the pressure up. Greedy, bringing it down to 295, now 297. My lord, they're getting infinitely closer, and they're just 394. Definitely not a game that Kurosu was looking for. Not the result anyways, but that's just how the cookie ended up crumbling. Jacob, what it came down to, really, that teamwork. Man, that teamwork was so good. The Lancer Fire was incredible from Nostalgia. And that Lancer Fire is going to be great, not only in execution, but also if we go to distance and go into escalation.
Eliminations and overall brute forcing your way through, but checkout is definitely underway, and for Team Kurosu, it's a must-win map to force this game number 3.
Must-win map indeed. Check out, let's see this platform fight. Obviously, we love watching this. And Sky Blue, she wants it. She wants the incense. But look at up top. The first player is going to drop off for Nostalgia. Greedy will lose her life. And got to give a shout out to Dasha, who's probably going to be rocking that 1v spot the entire game. Eris will drop Sunset, looking to go big. And look at these big trades coming out. Nanthius now last alive. And that mantle should put her down. And in fact, it will. Big team ace coming out. No love being shown. It's all respect here, it seems.
Yeah, once Dasha got that big 1v1 battle victory, I said somebody needs to step up on Team Kurosu, so shout out Dasha for taking that one serious, but that forces the pressure on everybody else, because whether if it's soon, if she's backtracking, trying to get to that play immediately, or taking her time with those frag grenades, that advantage that they have will bite you in the behind eventually, so they had to go. Unfortunately, they went into the brick wall defense that Team Kurosu had set up. Same strategies going out yet again from both of these teams. You can already see Dasha in that 1v1 spot going in towards the nades and gets it again.
Yeah, gets it again. That's going to be a problem for Greedy. Greedy needs help, or Greedy needs to start playing that fight a little bit differently, because pushing up on Dasha clearly isn't working. Checkout stands, though, popping off. Nades thrown. A little bit of hit markers here and there, but not enough to take to the bank. There are going to be some trades. It's a 2v2, not as one-sided as round number 1 was, but even so, not a good position for Vix and Nanthius, but it looks like we might get a bit of a reset. But no, Nanthius drops, and obviously we see Kurosu trying to capitalize off of that, but here it is. Finally, the reset. Some distance has been created. It's not much of a reset, is it? Actually, these girls are going at it. These ladies really are out for blood. I'm liking it. The aggression, Melody's down. And it looks like, yeah, there it is. Nostalgia going to win a round. Good job from them.
Man, and that's saying something right there for Nostalgia, because I felt like they were dead to rights. They had the damage over the top, but for some reason, I don't know if it was a communication breakdown. I don't know if they were shaking in their boots, but they were scared to finish it off. They had the damage, so somebody needed to kind of bounce wide and kind of trade off the bait and switch 1-2 of. They had them weak. As soon as you gave Nostalgia an inch to breathe, they took that deep breath and they made you pay because of it. And that's a round that you shouldn't let through. So you already see the switch up of strategy.
Oh,
see
here's the
Nostalgia
confidence.
beginning to go wide. Everybody being flashed out. But when it comes down to utility, that's in the hands of TMK, and they almost get a teammate because of it. Oh my god, that would have been so bad.
It would have been terrible, but hey, the team nade didn't come through luckily, and it's still a 4v4. So many moving pieces. It's really a wonder that nobody's dropped. Oh man, tough spot though for Nanfia. She's gonna die and be first blooded. Obviously Sunset picking that one up. Kurosu in a 4v3. Still though, Vix has to be the wild card with that sniper. She can open up a door to really flip the script here for the team of Nostalgia. So I'm gonna be looking out for her. And another thing you have to take into account is going to be Dasha. Dasha still has a nade, right, which could play a big impact here. So you got a little bit of both, a best of both worlds for both rosters, but ultimately Vix, yeah, she's the one who can turn the tides for her teammates here.
What you do right here is you got to watch out for the snipers. You got to be careful. You got to be able to take your time and keep an eye on that sniper. You see the marks going out. They're just trying to give the opportunities over to Vix, but you have to chain that flash with the frag grenade. So one is going to flash him if he overstays your welcome, or he's going to die to that frag grenade. So Nostalgia need to be aware of this one's coming. So even though I'm saying get the information of that sniper, they need to figure out where that frag grenade is. Not so much the utility in terms of the flash and the smoke, but the frag grenade. So Dasha is the player to watch out for.
All right, Dasha, Vix, take your pick. Who is going to end up being the X factor in this moment? I assume the overtime hill is going to be down here on checkout, and it is in fact going to be here. Nostalgia is going to have to play this carefully because they, well, actually, look at that first blood, or at least second blood coming out. Sunset down. She goes for the instance, gets a bit greedy, but things are starting to pop off. 3 seconds remaining on the overtime hill before it pops up. Eris is most likely going to back up Greedy. Up close and personal. Sunset's going to tear, Sky Blue, excuse me, is going to take her down, and it looks like it's going to be all she wrote as Kurosu will take that round in the end. A big stalemate, tense moments all around. We saw that big opening pick come out. Kurosu ended up at least having that first blood and ultimately getting traded off as Sunset ended up falling. But regardless, though, Kurosu found an opportunity and they ended up striking and making that round there. Great job from them. They lead 2-1.
Yeah, but they need to be careful there. Dasha, not Dasha, but Melody had 2 frag grenades. He kind of chucked some willy-nilly. Just kind of seeing the pressure. You see how intense this matchup is, and you see how it's affecting these players. Once again, double utility is going to be picked up as Nostalgia going for that back lane push. They have to figure out a way to get an elimination. In fact, Nanfius goes down. They're trying to clean this one up. Ours goes in for the kill blow, but doesn't get anything. Everybody falling for Nostalgia, and all the revives coming through for Team Kurosu is now a 4v2. Vix just getting lanced down. Sniper being picked up, players being separated. Vic's going to be down, and even though Revive's going to come through, they just basically have him trapped in the corner. It's only a matter of time before they start executing and finish off these eliminations.
So something to me that's super telling here, Jacob, is the fact that Kurosu still sent Dasha for the nade, right? Player 8. She's been opposite of Greedy pretty consistently. Great shot from Sunset. That's at least going to bring it down to Greedy, and Greedy's actually going to drop off hopefully soon, or relatively soon, you'd have to assume. Haven't seen a 1v4 on checkout. I just simply haven't, but hey, Greedy. I like the fact that she's still fighting, because oftentimes in Pro League, we'll see the teammate, you know, they'll just take themselves out or they'll just dance away. But hey, either way, Greedy, she goes down fighting. I like it. But again, going back to the point, Dasha, she still went for the nades. Now, Dasha's been winning that engagement against Greedy consistently. So Greedy, this time around, joins her teammates. 4-woman push down low onto checkout. But even so, the 3 members from Kurosu were enough to hold off and keep at bay the 4-member push from the team of Nostalgia. To me, that tells me ultimately 3 might be better than 4, and that is something, really a tough pill to swallow. It is what it is, though. But Kurosu, they lead 3-1. Nostalgia needs an answer, and this time around, again, Dasha now on the flank, and she gets nades for free.
This time around, though, it's Greedy who gets those instants, immediately kind of chucking them out, and that's one of the things. These players are just trying for survival, not really trying to focus on executing to perfection here. As another player going down. As they clean this one up, it is going to be a 1v4 situation, and that one's going to get cleaned up as well, as Team Kurosu have a 4-1 commanding lead. And I say commanding because after that big loss to Carnage, you got to give a round of applause for them to be able to turn it around.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems as if they're way more comfortable on this map. They're way more comfortable in the headbutt fight here, and they might just be more familiar with checkout, which might explain why during the pick and ban process, obviously, we didn't see checkout against Carnage Gaming. Maybe Carnage did their homework and said Clock Tower is the map we want to play this team on. We're just better there, because clearly checkout is where Kurosu is very confident on. This time around, Greedy is going to challenge the 1v spot. She's tired of Dasha being on the flank, as well as getting those nades for free. So Greedy has lost this fight, I think, every single time. She needs to win this engagement so she can give the confidence to her teammates that no flank is coming, and you also don't have to battle against nades. And that 1v looks to be popping off up top. They're literally inches from each other, and Dasha wins it once again. And that's going to put a ton of pressure on the 3 remaining members of Nostalgia, who's currently at checkout stands.
Big turnaround from that clock tower execution to this one. That's where you say, once you kind of narrow down a little bit of that strategy, you kind of focus into their strengths. They like to get aggressive. The Sky Blue now under siege. She's going to drop 3v4, turn down into a 3v3, turn into a possible 2v2 scenario, but double revives going out. The back lane push is still going to go through. Nantheus gets downed out with the Lancer. Sunset landing brick after brick, and she completes the house as Team Kurosu goes up 5-1.
I like that call. It completes the house. I've never heard you say that, Jacob. That's one that you got to put in your book, brother, because that's a good one. Completes the house brick by brick. Hey, good job, man. That's exactly what they did.
4-bedroom, 3-bath.
Shoo, you got all that money, man. Spread
She
the
does,
wealth.
not me. I didn't
she
build the
does.
house.
Okay,
She
I
did.
agree with that.
I'm asking for the same thing. When's the first land center in the basement? Because they got 4-bedroom, 3-bath, an office, basement. Like, come on now.
Shoo, I'm saying give me a sleeping bag, man. I'll be happy. I'm a simple man. It is what it is. Kurosu up 5-1. Things are looking a bit rough for Nostalgia, and then, oh, they got to start making this happen. And another adjustment in that 1v fight up top. Dasha, now it's going to be opposite of Vix. Greedy says, hey, man, I'm tired of being in this 1v spot, but either way, whether it's Greedy, whether it's Vix, Dasha stays the same, and Dasha continues to dominate. Well done from her. She's showing her wealth and showing her power on this team. Doubles back, takes down one, gets chunked on the return. So now, Nostalgia at a bit of a disadvantage, 3v2. Nantheus and Greedy now having a battle against Sky Blue, Melody, as well as Sunset. Not going to be an easy task at all. Nantheus, though, liking the confidence, pushes up, and Greedy takes down Sky Blue. It's a 2v2.
Bro, that was a play right there. That was communication. That cannot have been played any better between those two players. One getting him reek, one leading the charge. Just the bait and switch. It was a distraction from one end as a flank, I do believe, from Greedy kind of solidified that elimination and gives them the positioning towards the back lane. And the thing is here, both of these teams, whoever tries to make that push up either one of these lanes will take damage and will be at a disadvantage here. So I do think this is going to be up to Nostalgia to kind of close this one out, especially if the hill is right behind them.
It's going to be a tough one for both rosters, in my opinion. Not a lot to work with. We do see some utility, though, for Nantheus. That's going to be great, especially when Overtime Hill does start up. Naturally, Kurosu is going to have to be, at least has to push through those checkout stands. I assume that's where it's going to be. You would have think that Melody and Sunset maybe would have already backtracked and went over towards. So there it is. Officially, 15 seconds up. Overtime Hill to the backside of Nantheus and Greedy. Trying to get that sniper is going to be Greedy. I think the instants were also attempted to be picked up from Melody. Sniper shot missed. That's where you pick up the instants, and Melody will do exactly that. Now, a good connection here could change the tide. But either way to push going through. That's going to be first blood. Greedy, though, doubles back in. Greedy's down. So, what happened? That's going to be... Yo, she still got the capture, Jacob.
Oh, no, she got the chunk.
Oh, she got the chunk.
They got it. They got the chunk right there. That was absolutely... That was... See, I don't even know. I won't even call that one perfect. That was just opportunity after opportunity taken. You saw that player, they had their back towards the plat side, and you saw them try to hop in. I mean, their overall shotgun aggressive play, or at least leaning into it round after round, moment after moment.
Let's get it started, guys. Map number 3 comes down to this. Whoever wins this is obviously going to be the winner of the series. It's only a best of 3, so you got to make sure you're playing with everything you got. Eris is going to get tag team again. You know, Kurosu did that against Carnage Gaming, sending 2 players for the neutral fight. Not normally, you really never see that, Jacob.
No, you don't normally see it, but you can kind of see the thought process behind it, trying to go for this early domination, keeping your teammates alive as long as possible on the boat, maybe getting that Mr. Krabs triple cap domination off the initial, but it's going to backfire. You see Nostalgia get that home hill under Their belt. Nobody really going for the neutral hill just yet. And this is where, if you're not going for that neutral hill, Namphius has to change her focus on over to the other side of the map. Otherwise, you're letting a 2v2 go down for free. And look what happens. Greedy's going to go down. Sunset is going to be forced back, but there it goes, returning to the scene to get both of those eliminations and that home hill in their favor. So even though they did lose a couple of points due to that advantage of double home hills, they have the better setup overall.
Hey, well done. Sometimes the turtle's faster than a hare, I guess, in a long range, distance run, whatever, man. So at this point, Nostalgia looking like they're going to be on the come up. They're actually going to be coming back. Kurosu now forced to try and at least hold on to what they got. Obviously, Nostalgia, though, with Greedy is going to push through. Melody trying to take her out. You take her out, now you can double back onto Dasha, but Dasha holds her ground. Eris with the misroll, and Dasha will take that to the bank and potentially go for an overextension over towards A.
Big kill by Sky Blue on the boat, keeping control, which is going to be absolutely important as they continue to build on to their lead. And this is where I think there's maybe one good team push coming out for Nostalgia here. Everything else is going to be desperate individual attempts. If you can win your individual battles, you see everybody trying to line up into position. A couple players low. You see Dasha trying to toy with her opponent here. They have the boat, so they have the comfortability to be able to do it. But Namphius, that's going to be a big shot. She somehow takes out Sunset. You see the overextension in motion. That hill is going to go over. And I do believe... Nope, they have to get the triple neutralization.
Yeah, they definitely do, and it's a large task, right? Anytime that you have to do that. Kurosu still holding on to their home hill. That's going to be enough, obviously. Plus, they win B for good measure, and Kurosu definitely going to win round number 1. Nostalgia, though, put up a wonderful fight. They really did. It just wasn't enough. Truly competitive. Kurosu, they've got to be feeling even better now, though, because, again, they lost this 5-1 to Carnage, and now they won round number 1 off to a wonderful start, and they did it in a very unique fashion. Again, you never see a team send 2 players to B. Normally, it's a 1-player split down there, 3 players to fight for the winch fight, but, Kurosu, that unique release its standpoint seemed like it's working out for the best. I like it. Again, you don't see that, Jacob.
Now, you don't see it very often, but sometimes it's these unorthodox play, especially when you can kind of see the difference in terms of how aggressive these ladies like to get, especially when they get that green light. They just go and they don't look back and they don't hesitate. And that's going to be one of the biggest things for when these teams begin to find that separation in terms of skill, is the lack of hesitation, whether it's the right play or the wrong play. If you have your teammates back, anything is possible. And that's something we've seen throughout Fierce history, time and time again these past couple of years. But Team Kurosu, game number 3, after losing to Carnage earlier, trying to force that tiebreaker scenario. However, it does go down. Sky Blue trying to hold on to this initial fight.
Nice.
2v1 though, able to get that first blood. Vix is now being overpowered. The stun comes through. I don't know where that stun came from, but Vix certainly took advantage. Almost goes back to back, but Sunset takes another one out. So it's going to come down to a 1v1 on both sides of the map.
AB locked in. Now Kurosu feeling a lot more confident here. Obviously, though, Eris on the opposite end. She's looking to make some moves. Dasha, the opposite of her. And I asked who would be the person to challenge. Well, obviously, Eris is there, but Dasha drops Melody. Still holding her ground and gets the pickup. Good job from her. That's going to keep Kurosu with the 2-1 hill advantage. Stern is going to be challenged. Sunset, who did a wonderful job getting the final bit of eliminations here off the rip, is going to hold her ground once again against Namphius. And it looks like Nostalgia is starting to get desperate, Jacob, pushing anywhere they possibly can to gain an edge. But hey, maybe that edge has been gained. Sunset, the only one alive for Kurosu. And it looks like the domination is going to be threatened, but Sunset is going to be on C. So the match will continue a little bit longer, but Kurosu might not be as comfortable now than they were in the beginning.
I love Vic's decision to kind of just turn around, just get comfortably set up towards the top, get the information, figure out where the push is going to come from, which is just as good as any damage that you could possibly put out. Early spot on the Sky Blue, and you can see the information as Dasha pushes up as well, and you can see what it's doing in your minimap. You see Namphius setting up along with Vix. You see 2 players towards the low side, Greedy and Aris, protecting both of these hills. So everything right now is just a chess match for positioning, and as soon as everybody's in positioning, that's where Team Kurosu is going to go.
Ooh, Namphius down, Sky Blue heating up, Dasha by her side. Lead still in the way of Kurosu, and they also get the neutral for their favor. So that's going to be good, at least at this point in time. Still an opportunity for Nostalgia to turn things around, but the domination is starting to come through. Might be a bit of a Mr. Krabs. It's going to put a ton of pressure on Eris. Eris though wins the fight against player 2 of Sunset. And actually, to make matters even better for Nostalgia, they also get their home hill. So what went from a domination coming through might have been a 2-1, but look at that Melody right back in it. Once again to put Kurosu in a driver's seat. Nostalgia, they've got one more final attempt left, and they've got to push all 3 hills.
Neutralization. Best way to do that, though, Reflections is a big team wipe, but Namphia is going to make that one harder. You see 2 players towards the low side. They're making sure to get the decap, but you need the eliminations to back it up. And this is where you can see Team Kurosu taking a page out of Nostalgia's playbook, knowing that they need to aggress forward. They start with the Lancer, getting these players weak, just peppering them up and finishing them off with their shotguns. And there goes another big battle, another big round 1 for Team Kurosu here in our game number 3. So that turnaround after losing map number 1 pretty decisively has come through.
Definitely so, and that just comes to show you, you know, sometimes one map, one dominant win can definitely put the win right back in your cells. And I think winning that checkout 6-1 absolutely gave the confidence back to Kurosu. And that's not easy to do after you lose map 1 in such a dominant fashion. A lot of players will tend to get in their heads. They start getting upset. Not Team Kurosu, you know, not at all. They came back fighting, came back swinging, checkout went their way, and now they're looking even better here on Harbor with the 2-0 lead, one that they lost to Carnage 5-1 just a little bit earlier. So curious if Kurosu, they did that 3v3 push last round, and they're going to be doing it once again. They're going back to the tried and true, you know, kind of standard play Dasha, opposite of Eris. And Eris, she's been having a very tough time and maybe even more difficult because Sky Blue heads up play from her, giving the alpha angle, but Nanfius is there, and Nanfius wasn't accounted for. Kurosu making, or at least allowing her to break through. Things could get a bit scary here. Sky Blue needs to hold her ground.
I was gonna say it was looking scary, and Namphia pushing up. Good thing is Melody's there, as you see the sneak kill from Sunset. Finally, that elimination onto Namphia. They go up with a 4v2 advantage. Melody just overstepping her boundaries. Players are stuck on a boat. This could be the perfect opportunity for a triple cap domination, but Sky Blue squanders that opportunity going down. Center of the map, 2 hills, still on over to Team Kurosu as Melody is just trying to be a distraction. All this here is going to allow for Sunset to get loose and hold on to a 1v1. The separate fights are going to continue. Melody, finally, the 2 players are going to focus to get 1. And that early advantage there could lead into more. Dasha goes down. They continue to funnel these players and find these eliminations. It's going to be another big one as Melody's bleeding out already. Sunset gets taken out. 3 players done, and they already spot out the 4th.
Vix did a great job holding her ground. She was in a 1v2 up top against Sunset and Melody. She didn't even have help from Greedy until the tail end of that engagement. So ultimately, well done from Vix to do that, and that's going to give Nostalgia a big advantage. They already have the point lead at this point in time, and if they can shut down Kurosu on this secondary push, man, Kurosu could be in a ton of trouble. Nostalgia, though, getting pretty aggressive on the low, and actually thought they were going to pump the brakes, which I was a total fan of. Keep A and B locked in, play the time game, play the long game, but for 5 and 8, they want it all, and Nanfius and Eris are going to be pushing in and challenging Dasha in the 1v2, but Dasha, she takes down 1. Greedy's going to fall, and this over-aggression, instead of pumping the brakes and holding the defensive setup, could bite them in the butt.
Yeah, it was looking like a great rotational play, but Vix going down first kind of opened the door wide open. The decap goes through from Aris. Cannot get the capture here, and immediately gets taken down. I thought she was going to continue to be a distraction towards the back end and buy the team some time, but I don't think she bought enough, as 2 hills will be enough to get back into this game. It will be a close one if it comes down to the wire, but Greedy does not see Sunset there. Sunset making yet another sneak play, gets that elimination onto Greedy. And this is the thing, these ladies are not checking the simple things, and it's costing them major implications throughout the course of this game.
Yeah, we've seen it so many times, a player hiding in the shadows. You know, all it takes just a quick little peek over, right, to see if that area is clear, and it's just not happening. A lot of moving pieces here. We see players, you know, kind of transferring and trading off home hills. Fair enough. At this point, Nostalgia, they've got to get desperate because it looks like Kurosu are well on their way to victory. The 2-1 coming in play, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. The 1 hill from Kurosu is going to be enough, and C's locked in, and ladies and gentlemen, that should be all she wrote for this round, maybe. Vix gets to kill, but I think I don't know. Actually, it's going to be really close. C&B is going to be locked in, just mere points away. Will it transfer transfer over to win condition. It will not. A, though,
on.
just about got decapped. That was as close as it could possibly get. But Kurosu will hold on and take the 3-0 lead. And I go back to that simple mistake from Nostalgia. What did they do, Jacob? They tried to commit with 2 players through the neutral and collapse in to get the domination. They easily could have backed off, defended B, defended Stern, and I think they would have been okay. Play the point game, play the long game, but instead, they got overzealous, they overcompensated, they overcommitted, and ultimately threw the round so Kurosu could gain the edge and take the win. That's one of those moments where playing the long game, being confident in your ability to defensively set up, would have paid dividends and ultimately hurt them in the end.
I almost wonder what communication was like after that one. 'Cause I gotta agree with you, man. Sometimes I'm saying get aggressive, pull up your pants, and just take over these games. Sometimes you just gotta let the game slowly but surely be won for you. These shot grenades being picked up. Big damage from Sunset over the top, but Sky Blue's unable to capitalize. One down's gonna come through. She continues to push forward. Nanfius gets taken down. Sunset makes it happen with basically a double kill. Great teamwork as well. Greedy somehow finding a way backside the enemy team to cause even more distractions. No matter what happens here, Eris probably trying to get here, force these players in. I do believe she is going to get taken down regardless, but look at the distraction. Look at the time that she's buying her team with 2 hills to none. Not 1, 2 hills to none for a few seconds.
All right, player 7's down, so that's at least going to give A back over towards Kurosu, and Nostalgia at this point, just kind of, think it through, take a breather, wait for your teammates to come back into the battlefield so you can obviously wolfpack together. That's your best option. My only worry is player 6, Vix, could have some company. So actually, Vix looks as if she's going to go ahead and just push up and take the fight, maybe to Sunset and Sky Blue. And it's going to be a 1v2. We have seen Vix in this spot before, Jacob, just earlier in the round, and she did a wonderful job holding her ground. But as you can see, Kurosu, as they've done in the past 3 rounds they've won, they're taking control, and they're doing it in a controlled fashion. Sunset, Dasha, really here for a sandwich onto Greedy. Greedy, she's going to end up falling. This round might be over with.
Barring any miracles, Aris needs some massive trades. Dropping the meat shell, don't agree with it from Sunset, but when you have the numbers game, it's no worry at all. 4-0. Team Kurosu have definitely turned this ship around and have a commanding game number 3 lead and are looking to really take over that standings. We showed you guys throughout the course of the day, throughout that last matchup, how close it is between 8th and 9th place. Carnage does have the head-to-head matchup, so Team Kurosu needs to win out the rest of their games and kind of for a big loss between Agarthus Jade and Carnage Gaming later on today.
Still, though, putting destiny in somebody else's hands makes me uneasy, at least, right? Nostalgia, they're a team that has the ability to win these rounds, but I don't know if they're confident in their ability to pull back and set up defensively. I feel like Nostalgia is trying to take the game in a dominant fashion in a way of a domination, which Harbor, right, is one that can be incredibly punishing if you win the initial, but again, being confident in their ability to kind of hang back and play the long game, I think would benefit them a ton. But unfortunately, we haven't seen enough of that. Dasha, 1v1 against Eris. Good flash, doesn't work though. Eris still up, no hand in the face, and Eris will win that and also get on to F. And now if Nostalgia can win this E fight pretty convincingly here, they might be able to take the whole thing. But player 3 backs off Melody, wants to keep the game alive for her team.
See Greedy trying to track one down as well. Has all the trust in the world for his teammates to win the neutral fight. Ooh. Gets that big down onto Melody, and now it's going to be up to Dasha here. Dasha versus Zaris, and there goes 2 big Bulldog shots. Aris shuts her down, and I do believe that's going to be the first round in the books for Nostalgia. But you need to win 5 straight rounds to come back and win this series overall. So you don't have to play perfect, but you need to play as close to it as possible.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're down this far. Hey, this would be a big comeback. And you know what? You can start to derail at least the confidence from Kurosu if you just continue to win round after round after round, slowly but surely, right? You can't think about the end game. You can't think about the W. You can't think that you're down 4-1. You just got to think about the round ahead of you. Sniper placed up top on Stern, and quite honestly, with the way Nostalgia played that last round, that could be a sniper going into their hands and furthering the pressure onto Kurosu, who was just an inch away from taking this victory.
I like that sniper placement. It leaves it gives a focus. Something to fight for and kind of develop a strategy, probably try to get some eliminations on your side, but you can kind of see it's not switching up too much. The focus is still going to be there towards the top side of the map. Sky Blue, instead of bringing a flash, throws a smoke. I don't know how much it's going to help against Vix, especially with Vix having right hand, but that's going to be a big shot fired. That shock grenade is going to get that down onto Melody, and there goes the elimination as they clean that one up. So up top, 2v1 scenario, and they're quickly advancing, trying to make a move. Sky Blue can no longer stay either, as the angle is going to be there, and that neutral hill, and the first early points of this round go over to Nostalgia.
All right, good job from them, and this is going to be great. Again, placing that sniper, they felt confident in that top fight, and it is showing. Now we just need Nanfius to make some great connections. If the round doesn't end before that, because Eris is doing a wonderful job fighting this low end, but she is going to be in a 1v2. She's getting sandwiched, but it doesn't matter. Sky Blue will pick up the Elip, but now she's going to be full red because Nanfius is putting the pressure on, not pumping the brakes, and that sniper shot is going to pay dividends. Well done from Nanfius, and that came in before Sky Blue could even get the decap on the home hill of Nostalgia. So this is where, Jacob, Nostalgia needs to see things for what it is. Don't overcommit. Be patient. Play the long game. They have a great defensive setup. They just need to read where Kurosu is going to go.
Yeah, you look at Melody deep into the spawn. The angle's going to be there. They should be able to get this elimination on the Yaris, or at least the positioning to get this second hill. But depending on when they actually get the break and the capture to come through, I don't know if that second hill is going to be enough for the win condition to come through as Nanfius threads the needle. That is going to be the last sniper shot. So this is more of an opportunity for Team Kurosu to come back into this game as the Lancer Fire is going to continue. Nanfius gets spotted out center of the map. Everybody going on the other side. They have a 3v2 they're trying to take advantage of here. Sunset becomes the main focus. Dasha gets one. Team Kurosu need to figure out a way to get these eliminations. Tries to go for the revive. The damage is there. Dasha gets two. And the hill underneath their control is Nostalgia fighting back. Now it's time for that neutral, which switches hand. Team Kurosu gets the decap and the capture as well. I don't even know what happened. How did Dasha get taken out? And Vix, everybody is falling, and they get there just in the nick of time. But that massive lead for Nostalgia is out the window.
Absolutely, and now they have to get desperate, okay? The score line is so close. Now, this wouldn't be an issue if it was at the beginning of the round, but now we're at least nearing the end of the round, which means you just got to commit. They're trying to overextend for the home hill, but losing a member is already going to put them on the back burner. Vix is down. Player 5 now needs to push through confidently, take down Dasha, who's been really difficult to deal with at this point in time, really the entirety, and she's going to do it. And Dasha, the hero of round number 7. And ladies and gentlemen, it is in fact going to be Kurosu getting the victory in game number 3 against Nostalgia.
And that just goes to show it doesn't matter if you lose the first match of the day, you can still battle and bounce back. So they're trying to control what little they can of their destiny after losing to Carnage Gaming early on. So for them, you better grab some popcorn and kind of hope for the worst of your opponents. In game only. Keep it in game.
Only in game, right? Hey, Jacob, you always say it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish, right? And how at least Kurosu finished. Incredible performance from them. If I had to give an MVP, I know we're not even asking for that, but I got to give a shout out to Dasha. Dasha was not only a dominant slayer in her own right, but in key moments where she needed to hold her ground. You go back to check out in that 1v spot, whether it was Vix, whether it was Greedy, no one could take her away from those nades, right? No one could take her off of the flank. She was that powerful to the point where she at least gave 3 different looks out from this side of the side of Nostalgia. They had to because they didn't have an answer for her. And then even on Harbor in the later portions, that final round, honestly boiled down to Dasha just doing a great job on the overextension. So MVP has to go to her. Truly impressive.
Yeah, move over, Rudolph. Dasha is in town and shining. So, bro, I was saving that one. I'm in the Christmas spirit. I mean,
how long have you been thinking about that one, huh?
I mean, maybe
I know you. You're always thinking
a little
bit.
I'm always thinking 10. I got notes. Y'all think I'm keeping scores? No, I'm saying what can I say here, man? What fits good? What line can I pull out from underneath my sleeve? But honestly, though, you got to give it up to it. We got some more side station matches that are going on throughout the day, but the one match, like I said, on our main broadcast that I am going to be looking at is that Carnage Gaming versus Agarthus Jade. Agarthus Jade is another one of our highly aggressive teams.
Hey, shout out to Kurosu. Impressive victory. That puts them in line. Potentially get top 8, Jacob. I'm going to let you handle that math into things because you know me. I'm just simply not good at it. But hey, Kurosu, impressive performance. Now, when it comes to nostalgia, hey, hold your heads up high. You still have a lot of promise. Your control game is nasty. And that's where you can get the edge on your opponents. We're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, the Gears action will continue.